What's up, movie lovers? Back with part 4 of my DVD snapcase collection. And before we get into the movies, I just want to remind everybody what a snapcase actually is. And it's one of these old school DVD cases that snaps. And if you've watched parts 1 through 3, you already knew that. Well, let's just get right into it. First one, right off the bat. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And unlike Lethal Weapon, and more importantly, Die Hard, this is an actual Christmas movie. And I think this is the best Christmas movie. I would probably rank this at number 1. This whole movie is so memorable. It's great. Especially like when he's trying to put all those Christmas lights on his house. And he just gets so mad. He karate chops that little reindeer statue. Kicks that Santa Claus. Like I said, I think this is the number 1 overall best, at least Christmas comedy that there is. Yeah, I can't think of anything that tops this. So, Chevy Chase, Christmas Vacation. Can't beat it. And then next on the list, Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's European Vacation. And this is when good old Clark Griswold takes his family over to Europe. I haven't seen this in a long time. Of all the National Lampoon's vacation movies, I would probably rank this probably at number 3. It's probably the 3rd best one. The 4th best being Vegas Vacation. But yeah, this isn't the best National Lampoon's Vacation movie, but it's still pretty good. It's a classic. So if you like vacation movies, you got to see it. Moving on. National Lampoon's Vacation, the one that started it all. The one where Clark Griswold drives all the way across the country to take his family to Wally World. This is the best. This is the best vacation movie in my opinion. Nothing even comes close. Well, A Christmas Vacation is pretty good too, but this is just such a classic. I love everything about this movie. Highly entertaining. Oftentimes when I'm out hiking and I get lost, I feel like I'm going to end up like Clark Griswold in the desert with his pants on his head. I feel like I'm going to end up like that. So yeah, but anyways, excellent movie. Excellent comedy from the 80s. This is peak Chevy Chase right here. But yeah, I liked National Lampoon's Vacation so much that I actually upgraded it to Blu-ray. And this is the 30th anniversary edition. I went ahead and I pulled the trigger because it was this special anniversary edition. I love the anniversaries because, once the anniversary is over, they're not going to keep printing these. So hopefully it's worth a ton of money one day and I can retire and be rich because I bought that. And then next on the list, the first Nightmare on Elm Street in the snapcase, digitally remastered. And this looks good for a DVD. Man, the colors pop. This looks about as good as you can get for a DVD. I love it. And I think this is by far the best Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, I take it back. I do like part 3 as well. But this has got Johnny Depp in it. This is just the original, the first one. So you can't go wrong. I will admit though, Heather Langenkamp, dude, she is a terrible actress. I've said it in a previous video. She's just not good. There's only one line in this movie that she delivers that sounds halfway natural. And that's when Johnny Depp is giving him a bunch of crap. He's like, why are we over here anyways? He's like, just a guy in a dream. What's the big deal? And she's like, because he was scary, that's why. It's like the only time she speaks that it doesn't sound like she's reading off a script. But yeah, she is not a good actress. However, the rest of the movie kind of makes up for her inadequacies as an actress. I love this. This is a great movie. It's so vivid when like that body bag is being drugged through the halls of the school and just leaving that red blood all over. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. When Johnny Depp gets killed and all that blood's just pouring onto the ceiling, that's pretty good. And then when the first girl gets killed with the guy, kind of like the bad boy guy, he's in the room with her. And dude, that's a gory kill. She's getting all flipped around the room, blood's flying everywhere. She gets flung up onto the ceiling. and stuff, and he's just watching. Like, what can I do? She's just getting all cut up, and there's just blood everywhere. That's pretty intense. So this is a good movie. Like I said, this is the first one, the one that started the whole franchise. So you can't go wrong with it. And I do love the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think I like the Friday the 13th movies a little bit better, but Nightmare on Elm Street comes in second place. I liked it so much I went ahead and I bought the Nightmare on Elm Street 7 movie collection here on Blu-ray. And I've already watched all of these. Really good. Yeah, except for part 7, A New Nightmare. God, I think that movie is just terrible. It's just Heather Langenkamp, 99.5% of the screen time. It's her. And she's just terrible. The whole plot of that movie is dumb too. It's like, in the movie, she's an actress playing in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but then Freddy really does come to life and starts terrorizing her. It's like, come on, man. That is a lame storyline. I don't like that one at all. Here's the next one. Ocean's 11. I abhor this movie. I do not like this at all. I don't know why I bought it. I think this was just back in the day when I was buying everything, and I went ahead and I picked it up. However, after watching it like one time, I will never watch this again. I thought it was atrocious. I don't know if it's the actors or what. It just was so boring. I mean, it's got George Clooney, Matt Damon, Julia Roberts. I've never been a Julia Roberts fan at all. I've definitely never really been a George Clooney fan. I will admit, though, he was awesome in From Dusk Till Dawn, but I can't think of one other movie that he's been in that I've actually liked him. I think he's a clown. Matt Damon he's hit or miss. He's okay. But yeah, Andy Garcia, this just was so boring to me. I thoroughly dislike this movie. If I ever do like the most hated or the dumbest movies in my collection, this one will definitely make that video for sure. I cannot stand that movie. All right, that's enough bad-mouthing movies that I don't like. Let's get to a movie that I actually do like. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I grew up with this movie. We watched it all the time as kids, and we all loved it. Like, my cousins would come over and be like, what movie do you want to watch? And we all be like, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And I remember my aunt finally sat down and watched it with us, and she's like, what is wrong? Like, he's like a retarded adult. She didn't get it. But yeah, this is also a Tim Burton movie. Believe it or not. And if you watch this knowing it's a Tim Burton movie, you can totally tell it's a Tim Burton movie. It's just all weird and off the wall. Like when he's having those dreams and the big dinosaur is eating his bike and stuff like that. It's so great. Plus it's got a bunch of iconic scenes. Like where he's doing the dance up on the bar. Doing the Pee-wee dance. That was always great. And I love when he makes friends with all the bikers and they give him the bike. And he goes to take off. He's like, all right, dudes, see you later. And he just takes off because he doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle. And he just wrecks it right through that billboard and then crashes and ends up in the hospital. That is hilarious. That is so funny. But yeah, this is a good movie. It always will have a special place in my heart. Rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman. You will be missed. And here's something you might not have known about Pee Wee Herman, which is kind of sad, is that he was gay. And that's something that he could not come out with publicly just because of this character that he played, Pee Wee Herman. People would have thought he was a pedophile and all kinds of stuff if he would have came out and said he was gay, playing this type of a character. So he had to keep that inside, which is kind of tragic. Felt kind of bad for him because I learned that after he had passed away. But yeah, Pee Wee Herman, it's just a big part of my childhood. I watched Pee Wee's Playhouse. I loved this movie. I loved Big Top Pee Wee and all that stuff. So this will always have a place in my heart and a place in my DVD collection. Moving on, what's next? Rush Hour. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yeah, this was great. I remember when I first got this, I probably watched this a dozen times right out the gate. I thought it was so funny. I know there's, sequels to this, which aren't as good as the original. However, though, if I see this on Blu-ray, I'll probably go ahead and pick it up. To me, this is just another classic, another movie that I grew up with, and it's just funny. I like it. I mean, Chris Tucker, like I said, when I saw him in Friday, I thought he was one of the funniest guys in Hollywood. And he does it again in this one. Hilarious. And then you got, of course, you got Jackie Chan, who is just another icon. Put them together and you got a good movie. So yeah, I do love Rush Hour. Next on the list, Tango and Cash, Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. Just another, just over the top 80s style action movie. You gotta love it. You got Sylvester Stallone, he's kind of the straight guy, and then you got the wild man, Kurt Russell. And together they make a team. They're friends. It's good. Like I said, it's just kind of over the top. On the back here, I can see Kurt Russell dressed in drag. So that's kind of funny. But that RV from hell that they get at the end, which is basically a souped up Chevrolet Silverado truck with a machine gun mounted on it. Like, that's so over the top. That's so just, oh, I love it. I love it so much. This is a good movie. Probably not the best, Sylvester Stallone or Kurt Russell film, but it's solid. It's entertaining. I love it. And for that reason, I got it in my collection with the snap case. Moving right along. 13 Ghosts. Not too good. This did not age well to me. I think I saw this once when it very first came out and I thought it was really good. So I went ahead and I bought it. And then I watched it again and I was like, this movie is not good. Like, it's just not that good. To me, I can't get into the ghost movies that much. I don't like stories about ghosts. I just think this movie is not that great. It's one that I could take or leave having it in the collection. From what I remember when I watched it last time, I really didn't enjoy it. I just kind of wanted it to be over. Like I said, I don't get the whole ghost movie thing. I know some people love ghost movies. I don't. There are very, very few movies that have to do with ghosts that I actually like. Same thing with Ghostbusters. I know that's a classic movie. Everybody loves Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I don't know. I didn't find them that great. They were good, but like I didn't never go buy them. I don't have those on DVD or Blu-ray, and I probably never will. And let's not even mention Ghostbusters 2016. My God, what kind of a train wreck that was. But let's move on to a comedy that I actually do love and find funny. Three Amigos, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short. I remember, I think we were in 3rd or 4th grade. I was at my friend's birthday party. We had a sleepover, and his mom had rented a bunch of movies, and this was one of the ones that they had rented. And I remember I couldn't get into it. I must have been too young to understand a lot of the jokes in this. I didn't find it funny until later on, a few years down the road. I watched it again, and I was like, oh God, this is great. Like, I didn't get the mail plane joke. It was a mail plane. It's like, didn't you see his little balls? Little balls? I felt like Chevy Chase in that scene where he's like... he just laughs just to be nice, but he didn't get the joke either. I didn't get that when I was a little kid. But I do love this movie. This is another classic. This is so good. I will admit, though, it starts off strong, and then it kind of tails off at the end. It kind of loses me. Once they go through the desert, the movie kind of tails off a little bit, and the last third isn't that strong. Great movie, though. 80s classic. Gotta love it. Three Amigos. All right, and we're getting to the end of the Snapcase collection. Getting kind of low in the alphabet here. Twister from the 90s with Bill Paxton. But I remember my friends and I saw this in the theater. And after we saw it, we were all pumped up. We were all gung-ho to go do our own storm chasing. And there's this one time I remember very well, and you'll know why by the end of the story. But yeah, I had spent like all day washing my car, waxing my car, which was a Geostorm. And this thing had a monster system in it. You could hear this thing from a mile away. Had big old subwoofers in the back. And I mean, it was awesome. And I remember I'd spent like all day washing it and everything. It was all super clean. I had big old like 16-inch rims on there that were real shiny with little low profile tires. And it was looking good. It was sounding good. And myself and my stoner buddies, we wanted to go out into the country and smoke some weed. And I remember we could see this just black wall of a thunderstorm coming in. And we're like, dude, maybe if we go south, we can go around the storm, come in behind it, and my car won't even get dirty. And we could go down there and smoke some weed. So we went south, I don't know, 30, 40 miles, sitting there in the country on the plains, looking back at the town, and it just looked like just a black veil. I had never seen anything like this before. Just total blackness. And I'm like, well, we got to head back sooner or later. So as we start heading back, trying to go around it, we thought we'd go around the storm. This is how dumb we were and how stoned we were. We thought we'd go around the storm and come back into town and totally miss the whole thing. No, that's not what happened at all. We went straight into the heart of the storm. I am not kidding. First, it started raining. I mean, we were coming in on the highway, and trucks and stuff were pulling over and stopping and we're like, what are they doing? Like, we're going to keep going because we're going to go around the storm. So we're driving, it starts raining, and then it started hailing. And we're out in the middle of the country. There's no shelter out there at all. There's no trees to pull under, nothing. So we're getting pelted by the rain, and then like I said, the hail started. And I mean, literally, we're covering up in the car thinking that this hail is going to break through the windshield and stuff like that. It was coming. It sounded like somebody was just taking my car out with a machine gun. Just it was so loud. Ding. All these big old chunks of hail. Big old chunks of hail coming down. So, to make a long story short, when we finally got back, I could see that my car was pretty much totaled. I mean, the whole thing looked like a big giant golf ball with just dimple marks all over it. That thing got trashed. We had to end up getting every single panel on that thing replaced, except for like the front and rear bumper. I think that's the only two things that they didn't replace on that Geostorm. Luckily, insurance paid for it because it was like an act of God type thing, so it didn't really cost me anything. But it was insane. And then I remember they're like, what color do you want this to be painted? Like you could pretty much pick what color you want. So I went and I picked out this Corvette red color, this real bright red color. It looked awesome. Man, my car was looking awesome. And then not too much later after that, I totaled it. Some idiot pulled out in front of me, smashed right into him. But yeah, that was crazy though. We thought we'd go storm chasing, and I ended up just totaling my car is what happened. So it was not like in the movie. Let's move on. Another Christopher Guest comedy, Waiting for Guffman. And that's Christopher Guest right there. He also played the Six-Finger Man in A Princess Bride, which is another movie that I love. But yeah, this is Christopher Guest. And this is another one of those movies where they don't have a solid script to go off of. They're ad-libbing a lot of the lines. But this movie is funny. It's about this small little town in the middle of Missouri. And Christopher Guest plays the like drama guy at the school or something. He's some kind of drama guy, like some musician or something, does plays and stuff. And he wants to do a play to celebrate the anniversary of the town. And somewhere along the lines, they get some kind of letter that says that someone from Broadway is going to come down and watch their play. So they all get it in their head that they're going to go to Broadway with their play. And they take it all super seriously. It's super funny. And the whole like history of the town is that like back in the old settler days, there was a group of people who were going across America trying to make it to California. And they got like halfway across Missouri and they thought they were there. So they just stopped. They're like, yeah, this is good. Like I can smell the salt water, stuff like that. But they're in the middle of Missouri. It's so funny. And that town is also known for making footstools. It's like the footstool capital of the world. It's just so funny. Again, another Christopher Guest movie. The same one that did Best in Show. This is Spinal Tap. A Mighty Wind. This is the same type of thing. Same people are in this movie that are in the other ones. And it's great. I highly recommend it. If you like Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, you will definitely love Waiting for Guffman. It's the same type of a movie. Again, I love it. I love the Christopher Guest movies. Okay, moving on. We're getting down here to the W's. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And this one I just picked up a few weeks ago. I found it at the flea market store. It was like $2. And I just got this because I watched this a lot when I was a kid. I mean, this is probably not a movie that I'm going to watch every 6 months. But if I'm ever feeling nostalgic and I want to watch something from my childhood, I got it right here. And this is entertaining. I do like this movie. I know it's a musical and everything like that, but it's still good. It's still good. And like I said, we watched this all the time as children. Gene Wilder plays Willy Wonka. But this movie is a little weird. Like when they're going through that tunnel, like the movie does get a little weird at that moment. But yeah, I like this. It's so funny too because people nowadays make fun of this. They're like, dude, could you imagine all the lawsuits he would have for killing all those kids and stuff in his factory? And then he just gives it to Charlie at the end just to avoid liability. That's a funny concept. All right, we're down to the final 3 movies here. The Wizard of Oz. You're like, dude, you bought The Wizard of Oz? You like that? I bought this for my mom, and somehow it ended up in my collection. Because back in the day, I was so into movies and buying DVDs that's what I got everybody for gifts. I'd always give people DVDs for gifts, not realizing that they don't like movies and stuff as much as I do. So half the time I would get them these movies and then they would just sit there and nobody would watch them. So somehow this ended up back in my collection. But yeah, this is the original Wizard of Oz. This is an early release because it's the Snapcase. Everybody knows the Wizard of Oz. And then getting down here to the last 2 movies, When Trumpets Fade. And this was an HBO movie. HBO started off playing, movies on their channel. That's what you paid for. You paid to see, the big blockbuster movies. And then they slowly transformed into putting out their own TV shows and making their own movies. And I'm not going to lie, most of the movies they put out weren't that great. However, this one was good. And I remember watching this on HBO way back in the day, and I thought it was an excellent movie. And I was like, man, as soon as I see this on DVD, I'm buying it. So I did. When I finally found it, I bought it. But it's about this guy right here who actually kills one of his fellow soldiers to save his own life. They're kind of alone in this forest, and he kills him, and he's keeping this secret inside the whole time. And he's feeling guilty. He doesn't like himself because he killed his fellow soldier. But then he keeps getting moved up in the ranks. He keeps getting more responsibility. People above him keep dying, so he keeps getting moved up, and he doesn't want it. He doesn't want the job. He doesn't want the responsibility of other people. Because like I said, he's carrying around this secret with him about what he did. And it's just a really good psychological, dramatic war movie. I really enjoy it. Yeah, When Trumpets Fade. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen this. And then last but not least, my final DVD Snapcase. Young Guns 2. But yeah, Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Christian Slater. Excellent movie. Excellent Western movie. I love it. It's all about pals. These guys are pals. And they never let each other down because they're pals. And of course, it's the sequel to Young Guns Part 1, which is also a classic. And this is probably an overall better movie, Part 1. However, this is a really good sequel. And it plays off the whole myth that Billy the Kid never died. It shows him as an old man telling the story. Like in the early 1900s, supposedly what would have been Billy the Kid. And I guess that's a true story. I guess there was this guy, what was his name? Bushy Bill or something like that, who claimed to have been Billy the Kid. Supposedly they said, the claims didn't turn out to be true. They said he wasn't Billy the Kid, but a lot of people think he was. And that Pat Garrett really didn't kill him. But yeah, that's kind of the story of part 2, is the old man telling the story of being Billy the Kid. So it's really good. I love it. Parts 1 and 2, excellent. And as you guys know from a couple videos ago, I've already upgraded Young Guns Part 1 to Blu-ray. They did have a set that had Part 1 and 2, and it was like $30, but this was like really cheap. So I went ahead and I just got the first one, and if I can find the second one for 15 to 20, I'll go ahead and grab it. But yeah, guys, that is going to conclude my DVD Snapcase collection. That's all 63 movies, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until the next one, y'all, peace.